I'm going to actually allow our panelists, I'll say a little bit about the name of their names, but I think they can introduce themselves better than I possibly ever could. I'm really honored to be on such a panel, but I didn't ask for a formal bio, and I don't want to miss anything. So I will say what I do know about them, and I will ask them to introduce themselves. And I do have a few pointed questions related to the film itself, but then some general things, and we really want to hear from you and open the floor up to allow you to ask your questions and respond to the film. So I'm just going to briefly introduce each of them and then ask them individually to introduce themselves. So first on our panel, I'm certainly a huge fan. And I'm fortunate to call her my friend, and that's certainly growing. I've been in Chicago 2 years, a little over 2 years now, and she's definitely someone that makes me happy to be here in Chicago. So I'm going to introduce first Kim Hunt, the Executive Director of Affinity Community Services. Go ahead, do you want to say?
Do I need to say it?
Add a few more things up in there.
So I'm Kim, and it is wonderful to see so many Black faces in this room.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I'm in LGBT spaces, I am sometimes the only Black person there, sometimes one of very few talking about public policy issues in particular. Just a little bit about Affinity. It's an organization that's been around almost 20 years now, if you can believe that. Almost 20 years, and it has been housed on the south side of Chicago the whole time. And that's important because we know that a lot of resources for the LGBT community are not on the south side, as though LGBT people only live in one part of town, and we know that's not true. Affinity has worked for a long time in the area of health and wellness. We are also working in the areas of immigration. We're involved with the marriage equality fight. We also do a lot of leadership development work, and doing our policy work leads to our leadership development work because it is all about people in the room and the people who are not in this room to do this work and to lend their voices to this fight. So I'll stop there.
Great, thank you. Next to Kim, we have somebody that I met, I don't know, was it 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago? Certainly has a reputation that precedes him, and I certainly think it's always amazing when you meet an ally of the community who's really about the business of organizing and mobilizing Black folk to do great Black things. So I introduce to you next William McNary, who's the co-director of Citizen Action.
Citizen Action is a social justice organization. We fight for racial and social and economic justice. Make no small plans. They do not excite men or women's soul. I've been fortunate enough. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Every day I get to suit up, put on the full armor, and go out and fight the battles for everyday people. Whether that be high quality, affordable health care is a right guaranteed to all. We were the founding members of the Healthcare for America Now, which is the organization, the largest healthcare coalition that led to the passage of the Affordable Health Care Act. Some people call it Obamacare. I call it everybody in here cares about everybody else. So environmental justice, or making sure that people don't get ripped off on their insurance or utility rates, or making sure that women have a right to choose how to their own bodies, will make their decision about their own bodies. We are a progressive social organization and a coalition of 90+ progressive organizations, leaders, civil rights groups. www.citizenaction-il.org for more information about us.
All right.
Thank you. Next to him, someone I haven't met before, but I've certainly seen a lot on YouTube and a lot of other places. I have a special respect for this individual because I'm a preacher kid. Don't say anything.
Don't hold it against me.
And you won't hold it against me. And I think there's something really poignant about growing up the son of a preacher. My dad has kind of come full circle in terms of his beliefs around LGBT issues and against some of the will of people in his church and even people in his ministerial life, opens and affirms everybody in his congregation. And I remember having a conversation with my father about you and how progressive and just bold and courageous your theology is. And so I personally thank you for sort of creating a space where I can continue to stay connected to my spirituality. You know, his reputation certainly precedes him, but he is the pastor of New Dimensions here in Chicago, Bishop Carlton Pearson.
I felt a little bit intimidated because I've only been in this state 4 years and didn't plan to stay here. I'm a fourth generation classical Pentecostal preacher's son, and so I'm not supposed to be here at all. Not even supposed to be in this city at all. But when I started preaching the gospel of inclusion, the first 50 years of my life I spent trying to help people, keep people from going to hell. And then I changed my perception of hell, and now I'm trying to help people stop going through hell. And when I started preaching that inclusive gospel, the first group who in our society who reached out to me were Jews, the Jewish Federation of Tulsa, and I began to engage in repeated conversations with them about the rejection that the church has given the fundamentalist Christians over the centuries have given them. The next group was the same gender-loving community, and Bishop Thunder, whom you saw several times, who's from the same tradition I am, she said, if you're going to preach inclusion, we're coming. And you need to get ready for us. And I said, tell me what that means. I was single for 40 years, and there were rumors that I'm gay, but I wasn't rejected because nobody had any confirmations of that. But I felt enough of the rejection as one presumed to be gay, but not as much as I felt once I embraced same gender loving people as qualified, equal citizens of the body of Christ and in the earth. I got more rejection. I think I would have been treated nicer had I just said, I'm a gay man and y'all pray for my strength in the Lord. Sometimes I wish I had done that, it would have been easier. But because my wife and I both, and my children, fully embraced marriage equality. We embrace the dignity, the elegance, and eloquence of human beings being human, all human beings being human. And we've had repeated discussions. So we do all kinds of things throughout the country and the world around this matter. And I'm honored to be included in those who support gay marriage in this state and in any state. It doesn't matter whether I've only been here 4 years or not. I'm for equal respect for all human beings, for all American rights. And I know more. Today I spent some time studying, restudying, and rereading James Baldwin, and who's one of the great civil rights activists and thinkers in our culture who happened to have been gay. And we don't know that. The black church in particular has been one of the slowest responsive groups in this country to this matter. And the no ask, don't tell issue, they just say that mean no ask, no tell, you know that. Within the church, because I've been around it. I had edit that. I'm saved or sanctified, but that's because I'm so involved in the recording industry and the preaching industry, and as a bishop in the church, I'm privy to information that you will never be, probably, within the quote-unquote body of Christ. So I can no longer hide my theological crisis in the success of my ministry. I had to speak out and will continue to do that about the realities of who we are and who we're not. And it's starting really to work. Gay marriage will ultimately pass in this state and be a thing of the past in just a few years.
Lastly, but certainly not least, we have the person responsible for bringing the New Black here. And again, just an excellent quality product, just really thought-provoking, rich, smart, all that good stuff. So let's please give it up for Yvonne. Is it Yvonne? Yvonne Welbon.
From Chicago. I haven't looked here in a long time. I miss it. So my name is Yvonne Welbon, and I produced the film. And the producer pretty much works with the director to help the director realize their vision and bring their vision to an audience. So that kind of is a nutshell what I've done. This is my 21st film that I've produced. Yeah, really. Yeah, really. So I'm actually really excited to hear from you all. I know we're going to talk a little bit, but one of the things we're doing is we're learning what we're going to do with this film and how this film can be used in service of so many different things. So one of the things I'm really excited about is hearing from you all during the Q&A.
Thank you. Thank you.